Those are the two new ones.
Yes.
I got it.
Would you like copies, Miss Chelsea?
Sure.
Oh, that's okay. You can write all over
I
them.
was gonna get up, but I couldn't get them apart. They were stuck. Okay. Oh, I can't believe I did this. Oh, why? Okay. All right. Are you ready, Dave?
Going.
It's gone? Okay. I'll call the meeting of the Admin and Finance Standing Committee to order for Tuesday, November 11th. Approve October 28th meeting minutes.
I move to approve.
I'll
The minutes
second.
is written.
Any discussion?
Thank you, Chelsea.
Welcome.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution number 3720, fiscal year 24-25 budget amendment action tonight. Any questions on that?
It seemed pretty straightforward.
Yes. Okay. We will get that hopefully approved tonight. I don't see any issues with that. Resolution number 3723, authorizing member agreement for Montana Main Street Program action tonight. Thank you, Chelsea, for writing that. Chelsea, do you want to talk about the meeting we have a little bit, or you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just trying to get.
That's
minutes
okay.
set up.
So, and Mary Beth was there, Dave was there, Chelsea was there, I was there. So all four of us were there, so please feel free to chime in. Basically, we are, forming an official committee through the city appointed by the mayor to, for the Main Street program. And, this is authorizing the city of Red Lodge to continue being a part of it tonight, and also for, the mayor to appoint those members to that committee. And basically it'll be, I think, unless he's changed his mind, since he has the final say on that, on who's gonna be on there, will be everyone, pretty much everyone who is at that meeting, which
Yep.
was,
You name
Bill Foisey,
Bill Foisey,
Mary
Maribeth,
Beth, yeah.
Tracy, was Tracy there?
No, she couldn't make
She
it.
wasn't there.
And, who else?
No cat?
Yeah, Kat, yeah, no,
Tracy probably will not sit on the.
Yeah, that's totally fine, just,
I remember who was at that meeting.
But
that's
Sherry
more it.
will.
Sherry Weimer,
Sherry.
yeah, that's right, with the chamber. So there'll be representatives from all these different, stakeholders in it, participants in the Main Street program. And,
And meet how frequently?
well, our next meeting is in December. So, it could go
Quarterly or
to,
something?
yeah, it could go to quarterly, but for sure before we do our, quarterly reports. And there could be some times where it meets more than that. The committee will decide the frequency that needs to happen, but I'm sure it will at least be quarterly,
Yeah,
if not more.
and we'll set up an annual work plan, so they all know when the meetings are and what's going on.
Yeah. And so, yeah, there's a whole, a lot of homework that we are supposed to be doing on the Main Street program, the handbook and,
They want us professional.
yes, very professional.
Build up.
Yes, so that's what's on the agenda tonight, is to authorize, that formation and to renew our participation in the Main Street program. I think it's a great program, and it's, will continue hopefully to bring a lot of money into Red Lodge to help, with Main Street, Broadway, so.
Absolutely.
Okay, any questions on that? Any
Yeah.
comments?
Mary Beth, is there like is there a cost to being in this, or like an annual membership or dues or anything?
Not that I know of.
And
Never.
There never has been.
but-
Never heard anything. You just have to adhere to the guidelines and meet all those requirements, and then you're
Yeah.
in good standing.
The only budget they were talking about was to actually for, educational type purposes, to send people to the conferences and stuff like that, so,
Yeah.
in person every now and then, rather than just online.
Yeah, some Main Street communities have like bigger budgets and they spend time, like they have regular committee meetings and do a lot of work on that. Those are bigger cities. And for us, it's, like Jody said, training. There's one coming up, what is, Bill say Glendive this year, I think?
Glasgow.
Or
some-
Glasgow,
some-
but,
Yeah, I think it's Glasgow, yeah.
So,
Didn't, Red Lodge host the Main Street people
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago?
but that was like the national one.
That was the national.
That was a
That
big
was
deal.
national.
Yeah, that wasn't the
Yeah,
state
they
one,
were
that was
meeting
national.
Billings and they came up to Red Lodge for the day.
Did we get any feedback on?
They loved it. Yeah.
They thought
think the community's great and from everything I heard, it's real positive.
Okay, good.
Let me ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Mary Beth, did you get a chance to look at the resolution that's in the packet?
Yes.
And did that work, or is there anything that you thought we needed to change in that?
No, Tracy shared with me on Friday and I gave her my feedback and then it looks like it was rewritten differently anyway.
Yeah.
So it's,
We sent it through as it came in, and so, yeah.
yeah, no, it looks.
I remember she said she talked to you, so.
Yeah, less words is better and,
All right.
no, it covered everything.
Okay. All right, and then tonight we also have Resolution 3724, authorizing Red Lodge Area Community Foundation to submit the grant as a subrecipient of the City of Red Lodge, so that's action tonight. And, this is just formalizing what we already approved at our last meeting through a resolution. So,
So this would just be the second.
well, the,
Well, only reading.
It's the official.
it's
Yeah,
the
official
official one.
reading.
Yeah, we gave council gave their go-ahead to fill out the grant application,
Yeah.
so that they could submit it by November 14th, is that correct? Which is Friday?
Yes,
Friday, so,
Do you need an autograph from me on that, or?
yes, there's a place on the application that says wet signature, right under your name.
Says the what signature?
Wet signature.
Okay,
And then you need to sign there.
and spit on it?
If you want.
Blood pack.
I'll wear gloves.
I don't think that's what they mean by wet.
I know,
We don't need your DNA, but okay.
okay, all right,
And then there's also a letter of support in there from the city, if you guys want to sign that or not.
okay, perfect. Any, yes,
I just wanted a point of interest for Chelsea.
Yes.
When I watch these online, your typing actually override it
Oh.
with this microphone next to
Being
yours.
so close.
It makes it so that you can't hear anybody else in the room talking.
Oh,
It makes it difficult.
good, that's
So I
good to
wanted
know.
to share that with you, that
Yeah.
because you get enthusiastic in that typing,
Oh, God, yeah. no, I-
Pound on your keyboard.
the keystrokes override the microphone.
Good to
Because
know.
I watch them too.
You notice that?
Yeah, no, it's like,
What's
what
that
is
clicking noise?
that?
And I figured it out the other day, so I just wanted
Good to
bring that
know.
up.
Yeah,
I'm
did
trying
not know
to
that
think of how I
Which
can,
places?
well, no, there's
one
another
over here,
microphone
too.
right there.
And then
I like
and
being
type
here so I
too.
can see who's online,
You have to
and
set up there.
I know, right? I'm okay with that, so.
So I don't know how you take notes and address that, but it does interfere with the audio recording of the meeting.
We'll get her a quiet keyboard.
Or we'll hire someone to take minutes first, in the corner.
Yeah.
I immediately thought of Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield, where he has like his note taker in the classroom. Like, who are you? I'm like, oh, I work for Rodney, or like. That's awesome.
He was dealing with the different
Okay.
budgets than we are.
Yeah. All right, so I will try and keep that further away. And I think what we could probably do is if I move this from a different table, so like if I were to sit up there, it should eliminate that issue, so. Or if that were to be at a different table, because I imagine it's picking up the vibrations through the table as well. So, we'll see if that helps.
Probably, yeah.
We'll expect homework to see if that fits.
Okay. All right.
First critical issue for the city resolved for today.
Yes, thank
Done
you.
and
We
done.
would not have known that if you hadn't brought
Yeah,
that up. I'm like,
Never, noticed.
okay. All right. So, are we good with that for tonight?
Yes.
Okay. Update business registration ordinance. This is up for discussion tonight. I'd like to get it close enough where we could just print out hard copies for people.
Yep, cool.
If we're close.
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to share.
I'm going
Your-
to,
your
but give me 30,
Okay.
actually, I'll
No, that's
catch
fine.
up later, it's fine.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Minutes is really frustrating to do during meetings,
Yes.
just because it makes it very hard to participate as well,
No.
so, I do just feel like we could find ChatGPT to summarize in a meeting, but we'll get there someday.
I know.
Yeah, those are nice. Yeah, I know.
No, right? AI notes might just be worth it.
Yes.
So, okay, let me jump into our meeting, so then that way I can share my screen and we can all play along. Link, yes, please.
This is 9:07.
Yes. Actual meeting.
You have to join it first.
I know, I'm trying to join. I'm very aware of what, like, the process is. I'm just struggling with our link and it wanting to, just being simple, so I'm just gonna, I don't know why it's just a bit different than it was yesterday.
Wow, middle, boy, this news, no, I'm showing you an easier way.
Okay. so there's
I'm already on this track, let me just roll with this
I
track.
questioned, without, just at the very beginning, when we're talking about the list there, if we're taking out 7, should we still reference it?
Taking it what?
If we're taking out number 7,
Okay.
should we literally take it out and change all the numbers? Or
Which
just
was
put
7, I'm sorry.
a transfer business registration certificate?
Oh,
And we took out that entire,
because you can't do it.
yeah, there's that. So if we take all of that out, the question is, do we leave it in there as being removed with a note? I noticed that sometimes in the city, with the ordinance number that's skipped, rather than skip it, they put it in there and then say purposely deleted. Or do we have, or should we renumber everything after 6? So there are the questions.
I feel like just with the amount of changes, let's just renumber it versus saying, like, it's not like we're removing one thing.
So if we
Yeah.
remove that, then we should just renumber everything.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we reference in here that you can't transfer business registrations?
I believe so.
Okay, so it is in there.
Okay. It's the working doc.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna share my screen and then it should be good.
So I'm trying to remember where we were. We were down, I think, in,
Okay,
did we get through temporary vendors or were we still on that?
I think that's kind of where we had left.
Yeah, I think
Wrote
that
it
was.
down.
So, yeah, because we were kind of talking about the temporary vendor sponsor.
Yeah.
Right,
We
and
made
not,
it down to, made it past multiple vendors,
right, and we
and
were,
now we're down to C, temporary business sponsor, temporary vendor.
Do you have the ability to make that just a little bigger on your
I
screen?
sure do. That is not what I do. Okay, so jumping into C, we'll just start there. Temporary business sponsor, a temporary vendor and/or consignment vendor is not required to obtain a business registration if a sponsoring business, 1, has a business registration, 2, accepts the responsibility in writing to keep records of all items sold and the amount of resort tax owed, 3, remits said resort tax to the city of Red Lodge, and 4, is responsible for any and all audits. I feel like we were gonna change some language there.
well, the only thing we were gonna change was that you didn't have to do it beforehand. You didn't have to come in and, with each short-term vendor that you had,
Right.
for the sponsor. They just would include it in their quarterly report or their reporting, who they were,
I'm trying to find where we have that.
and if we wanna put who they are reporting, you know, I think we maybe want some guidelines on what they include on that report. You know, because right now we just include the total in. We don't have to report who it's for or anything.
Okay.
I mean, do you want to have, an itemized, list?
By temporary vendor?
Yeah, like how much of that is for the temporary vendor, or do you just want it included in their sales?
If we didn't know.
I think that would be a better question for Lonnie or Danae, just how they want that recorded.
Okay,
So, And I think that that's something that they can create the remittance form based off how that works for them.
Yeah,
if that makes
and,
sense.
and I wouldn't be, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed for having a little bit of more guidelines in there.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
right now, there's nothing.
Yeah, no, I'd be
and I-
A-okay with redoing all of our remittance forms, but.
Yeah, and I think it's more that, you know, 'cause when I would have a pop-up market, I would just include their sales and then their resort tax in with mine.
Yep.
Yes,
I would think for, when someone questions whether or not resort tax was collected for a pop-up vendor,
yeah,
if it can be accounted for, it makes life much easier for our city officials to verify that something was collected other than
yeah.
that.
It was under market 55,
It was-
55.
Slap it all
Yeah,
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that Jody assured us that it was collected.
Right, and I agree. I think that's my point, is there's nothing out there right now, so.
Right.
Yes.
I was just, a suggestion is what I used to do with the Fun Run, Festival Nations, is every temporary vendor, I did their own individual form,
Yeah.
and I attached them all together and gave the city just one with top.
That's,
Yeah, and that makes
I like that. Yeah. I like that idea a lot. We
Knowing
just
I
have to,
tracked everybody.
well, and it'll be there for audit purposes too, you know, accountability and audit. You know, because if I got audited right now, I mean, they're gonna have my stuff, you know, but then I'm gonna have to go back and like, well, I, you know, had this pop up and I had this pop up, so that's why it's over what I show, you know? So it's, yeah, it would definitely help in an audit situation and accountability. So, do we wanna add something in there like that, just, to me, I think it's not really about registering beforehand, it's when they report it, that it be reported separately, but included in their total.
Each temporary vendor should
Yeah.
have their own report.
Yeah, something like that, it doesn't have to be the whole, I mean, I guess you could do the whole thing together. I mean, you just would fill out the city's form for each one, and then write
I
one
think
check.
that's how you would do it, is just having an individual form for each one.
But then it's under market 55, 55, and then I'd put, this was a pop-up for, you know, so-and-so, and, you know, or retail sales for this
The
vendor.
question is, do you need to tell the city that by temporary vendor, or whether you just need that in your records for an audit?
No, I think you need to tell I think you need to tell the city.
Yeah, I think it should be broken down.
For the city.
I think it would, just to Rod's point, because we do get questioned, especially with pop-ups, if you start bringing in a lot of, vendors that are in direct competition with other retail stores downtown, they get a little, you
Well,
know,
even
they'll
just like-
call and they're like, who's monitoring, you know, are they paying resort tax?
Are they
Who's
paying resort tax?
tax? Yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff.
I'm paying,
So-
are they?
Are they, yeah, exactly. So they want it to be a level playing field, so.
Well, that brings us down to D, when it says that the, vendor sponsors, responsible for audits. And I think that
Yeah,
we dealt with that.
So that was one that I think
the
we were.
sponsoring vendor is,
Okay,
yeah.
can we, one, tell me which page you guys are referring to, just so I can make sure we're all on the same page?
Well, we're
Clearly?
on, section 3-1-8.
Okay,
Okay.
Where
thank
we
you.
talk about temporary vendor registration.
Because there's two different locations, that's why
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And then
Yeah.
I went from C to D. Oh, I see, you're in a different spot.
that's what I'm trying to figure out, is I don't have a D in the section that you're talking about.
We're in section 8.
Okay, thank you.
And what section are you in?
I was back up in 4.
Oh,
I'm sorry?
no.
No, because it's an actual ordinance with the city that,
And
We're
then,
messing
yeah,
with
this
it,
has
okay.
been you can tell based off all of the formatting changes and cleanup and everything on this, that it's been a work in progress.
the first thing we had to do was change it from business, we had to change everything to registration
Licenses.
instead of licenses, so. It's like, and then we had to incorporate all the short-term rental changes we did in the short-term rental ordinance into the registration.
So Sandy, what we did edit for C is responsible for complying with the city, for any and all audits. So instead of being responsible for any and all audits, it's complying with the city. So essentially, we're moving that to where, yeah, we did make that
That
change.
takes care of that.
Yep. Okay, so now we will,
Yeah, 'cause we don't want people auditing themselves. That
And
actually
obviously,
happens.
we are going to change,
Yeah, I'll audit myself. No, it's all good, don't worry about it.
that. We'll clean this up to do as well. I'll try and have this all in a format that doesn't show the marks for tonight, just to make it really easy, and then if anyone wants to refer to this, they are welcome to. But I think this
I
will
would leave
just
the-
confuse people by
I
having it.
don't know, I
Too
would,
many.
I would leave them in there for right now.
Okay,
So people have a copy so they can see the changes. Just because it's a lot of changes.
that's fair.
And,
I just think that this is gonna be very overwhelming for anyone who hasn't
and it
been
might
in
be, but they'll have this copy, and then next time we can present the copy with
A cleaned up
copy.
a
copy.
cleaned up
Okay.
copy, but they'll
I
have this
am fine with
original.
that, 'cause that means less work for me today.
Yeah, don't clean it up yet, 'cause a lot of people wanna see the changes. What changed on this?
All right,
Well, I have down that we removed 7, is that not true?
7.
I mean, F.
F, thank you. I was like,
Well,
please, what?
I don't know where 7 came from.
All
Yeah.
business conducted is of the,
But this is where we stop.
this is where we
This is where
stop,
we
yep.
stop.
Because we were trying to decide, do you want to have someone be able to, I really think if we just add unless part of an event. Because if you are, we had Summerfest downtown, and I sponsored a couple of businesses that set up on Broadway, so they were not on my premises, but at the same time, but it was part of an event, whereas, the Arts Guild, theirs is part of an event. Lions Park is not part of their premises. It may be adjacent to it, but it's not part of it.
Right.
So it's part of an event. But other than that, I think if you want to have a pop-up on your premise and sponsor someone, that's great, but,
Well, again, I think
I mean, how
about
do we wanna
food
do
trucks
this?
too, to where it's like,
yeah,
they need to have a location
yeah,
designated,
yeah.
which they're gonna have to have anyway, just to get through the permitting and whatnot. But realistically, I think how we can write this is all business conducted is at a sponsoring business's designated operating location or at a designated event location.
Okay.
Is it necessary at all?
It is to me because I don't want a business who's just buddies with like a food truck person. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll sponsor you, go set up wherever you want.
Yeah.
I just, because the food trucks especially are responsible for a lot more licensing and public and safety, health and safety issues, including, Brian has to go out and look at where they're setting up.
Mhm.
So if it's part of an event, it's a little different, like if they're having, the Arts Guild Fair, they'll have food trucks over there. I don't know how much Brian actually goes and checks those out, so to speak, but when they're set up on a regular basis in town, there's a lot, And a temporary vendor has certain, it's not just necessarily for one day, it can be for multiple days.
Right.
So I don't want to bypass what we have in place for protections, especially with food truck type
It
situations.
seems like you're combining two different things, because a sponsoring business at their location, or to me, would be immediately adjacent public right-of-way, or something to that effect. Event would be a completely different, if you're sponsoring temporary vendors at an event,
Yes,
seems different than sponsoring a temporary vendor at your location or immediately adjacent to.
See, that's kind of my
Because
thought too. How
It could
can,
not necessarily be an event, but the way
if
you
you're
want to sponsor a hot dog cart, but they're gonna set up
2 miles
next to
away.
Pride Park, not 555.
right, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Seems too distant.
Right,
That's exactly what we're saying.
that's what
But
we're
if it
saying.
was- But if it was immediately adjacent to, that clarifies that you can
Right.
sponsor them at your location or immediately adjacent to your location, such as public right-of-way. So the hot dog cart could be on the street in front of your location
Yes,
or the side street.
And
But if they're
even,
gonna be completely separated to where there's no correlation between you and them, that seems like a whole
When,
different.
and that's where I'm saying it would have to be part of an event.
Right.
You can't do it unless it's part of,
Yeah.
you know, like if it's Christmas stroll and the whole Broadway is closed down and someone wanted to sponsor a temporary vendor to set up, then that would be allowed because it's part of an event. But
See,
in a day-to-day thing, no, you can't do that. It has to be on your premises or adjacent. You could add or adjacent.
I
And
like
that's what I'm
on your
doing right now.
premises or adjacent too.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any way that if you're responsible for them, that you should be able to have them close by,
Mhm.
not be able to sponsor them in Lions Park. You don't know what they're doing over there.
Right.
And you're responsible for them. I like adjacent to, either on your premises or adjacent to.
Yeah.
Even with the Summerfest, they could have set up adjacent to
Mhm.
the building. So I.
Well, I got
whether
asked
there's an
to,
event or not, I would just say that they need to be, that they need to be. at
well, and the
physical
reason why, the
location.
only reason why they weren't is Summerfest wanted to set them up in a certain spot downtown, and
Well, I would just tell them, sorry.
And it's an event, so again, that's what we're kind of cleaning up
It
too,
would be
it's like, at
The
a,
event sponsor be responsible for those, rather than a business owner, if you're having a significant event,
Then
like
they can,
Summerfest.
then they
You
can be
would,
the
but they
sponsoring
don't-
vendor.
but they don't normally collect resort tax,
okay, so how about this?
so.
I think we're all saying the same thing.
We
All business conducted is at a sponsoring business's designated operating location immediately adjacent to the designated operating location or at a designated event location. Easy, that covers all the things.
Let me see. All this, is that a sponsoring, operating location immediately adjacent, or at a designated, yeah. I mean, it's the person who's sponsoring that's taking on all that responsibility.
Yep.
That's what it's down to, and,
It's either, hey, yeah, pop up in front of my business, pop up inside of my business, or there's an event going on and I got you.
Yeah.
Those are your three options.
Yeah.
And I think that makes that clear. Are we good with that?
I am, but,
Sandy has a face, so.
Yeah, I just think that,
And the face.
I know.
it's just that it seems that if you're gonna be responsible for somebody, they need to be close.
Agreed.
And,
But-
and that's where I would go. I don't care whether it's an event or not. I mean, I just don't think that you can do any kind of regulation that they are collecting.
So this
Or-
is what I'm thinking of with like an event. I mean, one, the regulation of them collecting is when you pull in the finances and you have to submit money on their behalf. So
And they
set
have to
Stampede.
submit a
Yeah, yeah.
report.
So I
Yeah.
mean, that's gonna be what, like,
yeah,
I'm gonna damn well be sure that they're collecting because I'm the one who's gonna be paying the bill.
Right.
So that's what's important to me. And then generally with an event, again, the reason I say that is, you know, one person sets up something in Lions Park and you're sponsoring their food truck down there, but generally you're gonna be a part of that event too, in some way or another.
right, yeah, I mean.
Or at the very least, you're gonna be participating in some way or another. Or it's going to be the person hosting the event that's going to be sponsoring them more likely.
That
So-
would be, see, that's fine for me. Whoever's hosting the event should be the sponsoring vendor. They should be the merchant that's responsible for everybody in there collecting.
But most of them, just, so you know, most people who sponsor an event are not necessarily,
They don't necessarily have the
resort tax, and they
Yeah.
haven't paid for the $500 bond, and they haven't, that's where it comes in. And like the chamber doesn't sponsor vendors. We tell people we have nonprofits set up on Broadway, and we tell people if you are a vendor that wants to sell something, you have to find a business downtown to sponsor you, period. Because the chamber does not want to be responsible for that. So there's a lot of people, it's very rare that people are actually gonna sponsor somebody.
It's mostly things like the
Like-
farmer's market, the arts guild, things that we did have specified in here, but we literally just had only those two options. So now this opens it up to anyone who wants to, because I can see that opportunity coming up, but it's not gonna be very likely that people are going to be doing this.
See, I'm just envisioning the crooks, okay? The food truck that sets up and they have a line all day long and you know that they are doing really well. because they're adjacent to your building, so you're aware of what's happening there,
Mhm.
right? Then they turn in a sheet and they collected $12 in resort tax.
Right, and that's why in here specifically it says that the designated operating location or immediate to, and, or an event, and at that situation, again,
But
the
they're-
responsibility comes back to this vendor. If they come back and it see like, oh, we collected $12 and they weren't there to witness it, and they submit that and the city's like, BS.
Yeah.
But
But
they're the
that's
one getting
on-
audited and they're the one paying, footing
The
the bill.
sponsoring vendor.
Exactly.
And that's,
So again, it's up to them to make that educated decision of if they want to take on that member. And if
Mhm.
they are willing to sponsor somebody at that event away from
Right,
them.
okay.
So,
and like I say, most people are not gonna do that.
No,
So, and, yeah,
Like,
and
I
the
would-
only reason why I did is because the people from Summerfest said, hey, we've got we've got one vendor that makes this really cool stuff, and we'd like to have her set up, and she really wasn't that far away, she was just like on the street in front of me.
right.
But, and I was like, yeah, I'll sponsor her, and she paid, and everything was great, and most people are honest.
Yeah.
But you're gonna,
I think
like you
that's-
say, you're gonna get some that aren't, and
So to summarize, how does this benefit the city?
because the city does not have to keep track of all these little vendors at Farmers Market, and at Arts Guild Fair, and, they don't, it's a ton of work for them to try to collect, to have them pay the $500 bond or the deposit.
It's making it one point of contact for multiple entities.
Yeah,
And
and
then
it
it's
saves
all-
them tons of headache and,
And it also opens up opportunities for things like Summerfest to have the ability to bring in more vendors without all of the red tape that you usually have to go through to be a temporary vendor in town.
Yeah.
It's a substantial expense as well as a lot of work, and for a lot of people, they're not making a lot of money, and then they're coming back and they forget to remit their resort tax. It's something that we've seen as council members,
yes,
and this
Finding
eliminates,
wall.
exactly, it eliminates this option, or this
yes,
potential for failure by leaving it like, okay, I have this responsible person who's well-versed in resort tax. They're gonna sponsor this guy for one day. They're gonna have a great day, have a good experience in Red Lodge. This person's gonna remember to remit that resort tax because it's something that they do time and time again, and they're gonna have all that documentation and paperwork already set aside.
Yes.
But this guy can come down to town, be a good contributing member to community and to events and to our resort tax collections without having to go through and learn an entirely new process that they might forget, and now they're getting fined out there.
and then they're yelling at
There's
city
been one.
council because we just fined them $750, and no, we'll never come back to Red Lodge.
and the tax
Ever
that they
again.
owed was $12.
Yeah,
Exactly, so,
And I just wanted it for the public record.
yeah,
When
yeah,
people are watching this.
yes.
I'm more than happy to, yeah.
I know, but yes, I was told several times, especially with, farmers market, or, those bigger events like that, Summerfest, when they have, if they have, vendors setting up there, it saves
Yeah.
saves a lot of headache for the city, and they know that the resort tax will get paid
Yep.
versus
So
Because
should
of
there
tracking these
be
people
a
down.
placard on the pop-up vendor that says sponsored by?
I like
So that
that,
if somebody questions,
whether they're gonna pay their
are you
resort tax.
Yeah.
legal? Like the police department, on a weekend, there's nobody to talk to, and they walk up and say, just checking in, seeing if
Yeah,
everything's appropriate here, and they can go, I'm sponsored by this.
that's a great idea, just the sponsoring vendor would supply them with that, because it's not just the resort tax, they're also working under that person's business registration.
Yep.
So they need both of those to be legal, and so, we could probably add something like that, in there, to make
So-
it easy. I know that, the police do check, especially during big events in town, to make sure that people are actually, have their business registration and things like that.
It would make it easier for enforcement
Right,
if they could say, this is who's sponsoring me,
yep,
and if they feel I need to, they can go down to that
yep,
business
and
and
verify,
say, are you truly sponsoring this person?
yep, and that's it.
So temporary vendors should have a sponsored by, signage or some sort of,
If they're
A certificate,
if they're
something,
sponsored by someone else,
vendor,
Yeah.
then they don't need their business registration, and then they don't need their resort tax
right,
bond.
right, because
because they're sponsored by.
Yes,
So it should clearly state, just so that everybody knows. Because you figure, especially competing businesses that
yeah,
are here and have a brick and mortar,
yeah,
and they're gonna say, you know, I'm selling T-shirts, here's this guy over here selling T-shirts, and he doesn't
Yeah.
have a business registration, he's not paying the
Yeah.
dirt tax, but if you had sponsored by and the name of the vendor, of the sponsoring vendor,
yes.
would be nice.
So we could add that in there.
Doing it right now. Should visible identification of its. I mean, it could just be like one of our business registrations that you're supposed to display in all your businesses anyhow.
Exactly.
Yeah. That, mine was always in a pile somewhere. Well,
have
it
my
doesn't look
list in
nice
my
to have
office.
like a boutique, you know, retail establishment and have this piece of paper hanging up there.
Put it in a cute frame.
I know. Oh,
Do it in calligraphy.
yeah. I don't know that I've ever seen those up in stores. Have you?
No.
I'm like, does anybody
I
put
was
those up?
thinking the same thing.
I'm like, I don't know that anybody does
But the
that.
temporary vendors are the
Should,
ones.
yeah,
Okay,
should.
so
And they just
so we
need to
can-
have it on there.
a sponsored temporary vendor should have visible identification of the sponsoring business issued by the city. I'm trying to figure out the best way to
Oh.
write this.
But just,
Should have visible identification, or should,
Sponsored temporary vendor should display,
oh yeah, should display.
or just should have available, or something like that. Documentation from the, from the sponsoring,
who the sponsoring vendor is.
from the sponsoring vendor. And all the sponsoring vendors then would have to do is just say, I, Jody Ronning from Market 5555, hereby sponsor Joe Blow to sell whatever he's selling. Yeah, retail items, or whatever.
Well, when you go to approve a temporary vendor, I just give them a little, you know, this business sponsored by.
Yeah. Because you don't want somebody just sitting there and, yeah, they're sponsoring me down there. I'm like, no, I'm not. Who are you?
Well, sponsor, I need to be sponsored.
I know.
Temporary vendor, a sponsored temporary vendor should have certification of endorsement from the sponsoring business
Yes.
available on site.
Yes. Cool, that's fine.
Cool. All right. Are we good with our temporary?
I think so.
Vendors,
And just
excellent.
up on top, we did take out in writing, right? I just was looking through this, because I didn't update it on mine.
Where's that?
Go up a little farther, where we were, temporary business registration, where it says, where was it? Oh, it was up on 3-1-4C,
Okay.
where we had it had said in writing, accepts the responsibility in writing. We had taken out the in writing beforehand. 'Cause that's, if I remember right.
Temporary vendor.
Because, well, I'm like, who are you giving it in writing to the city? I'm like, we're not,
I'm trying to still catch where you're at.
you're right over it, right?
I know I'm right over it. I'm just like reading through it to find what you're
Okay.
talking about. Required to obtain, has a business registration, accepts responsibility. Gotcha, in writing. There we go.
Yeah, because we don't want to do that beforehand. I mean, it's going to be on that report that they've accepted.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Responsible for any and all penalties and fines. Is responsible to comply. That's another thing we need to include here.
Yeah.
Any and all city audits. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think we're good on that now.
Yes, I think we are.
Fabulous. Onward, business registration fees. So again, just changing it to, we got rid of transfer of business registration. And then just a little bit of cleanup, that's all. A business may fall into multiple applicable tiers, only the highest tiered fee shall apply.
So you don't get double charged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weird sentence.
Mhm.
And then where there is a question regarding the registration fee to be paid, the matter shall be referred by the city clerk treasurer to the mayor, who shall decide the question subject to appeal to the city council. Yeah, I just thought that was a terribly written sentence.
It is a terribly.
Probably something we can fix.
But the fee,
Okay, so,
Well, first off, where there is any question regarding the registration fee, I don't think you need to say to be paid.
yep.
I think that's,
I don't know why there would be a question, except we have to,
Well, I think it would be if
Appeal
it
it.
was about the tiers, like where do I qualify, but.
yeah. So, should we, because this is basically just giving them a way to appeal it, right? So do we need to maybe just say that?
So let me ask you, Mr. Mayor, where there is any question regarding registration fees, the matter shall be referred, and I'm just gonna change this to the
how about,
mayor by the city clerk and treasurer.
how about, shall be referred to the city?
Well, I think what it is if someone's questioning the clerk, what's the next step?
Yeah. So I think, and I would say, it's not necessarily the registration fee, I would be, if any, if there,
Is it a question or an appeal?
that's what I'm saying, it's more of an appeal. Should any business wish to appeal their business
Go to the mayor.
classification,
Okay.
because the classification is what determines their fee.
So if a business wishes to appeal, comma,
The registration fee.
there's a registration classification or fee.
Right, yeah, that'll work. Because the classification determines the fee. Remember, we had some when we first, before we cleaned this up, the last time where people were selling ready-made, like ice cream bars, so then all of a sudden they were a
Yes,
food
bring it
and,
to the mayor.
yeah.
For a final decision.
Yeah, please don't do it to council. My God.
I'm okay with that.
I'm like, I don't really want that. I mean, they're
My
either,
best recollection, we never finished asking that, here's a question for the mayor, but I think, did we, is that? in line with
yeah,
what
we were at,
Okay.
you answered it, so, perfect.
Mm-hmm. How do we feel about new sentence?
You want escalated or appealed?
Which is to appeal.
Does the mayor have the final decision, or can it still be appealed to the city council?
I feel like it should be able to be appealed to city council.
Okay.
I know,
Put it
I
in
think
there.
it goes to mayor first,
First, and then,
So
that's
yeah.
only
the
fair.
matter
Okay.
will be escalated to the mayor.
followed by the city council.
So, before we go that route, and I have zero objection to it,
Just don't,
because there's also an appeal that they say they go get an attorney and a judge makes a decision. So, seeing what happens when we send a whole bunch of stuff to be appealed to city council and everybody says, what have I got to lose?
yeah,
Fair.
What is, give me a sample of the circumstances where Danae's gonna say you're a this,
and they're gonna say,
they're gonna persuade the mayor of the same. What is the circumstances that they're gonna go to council and it's gonna change your mind, that's gonna be consistent, repeatable, and,
well,
because if it's consistent, repeatable, we can do it at the staff level.
the only thing I could think of would be, I don't know, we cleaned it up enough last time where this should be very few and far between.
Yeah.
You know, when we didn't was like with Sylvan Peak selling ready-made food, you know, MREs and stuff like that for camping. And the way and it was just a mistake on our part, not even thinking about things like that, where then all of a sudden they were getting charged $250 because they sold ready-made food.
Yeah.
And so, instead of the $100 retail. So we fixed that. But I'm trying to think of a business, like if you were taking people on guide trips and you were cooking them, lunch by the creek, are you then making food, or are you a service type
Yeah.
guide?
I have zero issues or concern if you wanna have council and there's an appeal, but my prediction is that you will lose the day.
I just don't, you know, it seems to me that you've got the city clerk that makes the decision,
Mhm.
and then they say, oh, no, then go to the mayor. Now you've had two people look at it, I think that should be the final decision as the mayor. I don't think it needs.
And if it's,
I'm good with that.
Or, and if they disagree with the city, then you can,
they said they're gonna
Sorry.
get an attorney and we'll do
Yeah.
whatever a judge tells us we have to, but I feel pretty comfortable that anything we have in place is gonna stand up to that rigor.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be very few and far between that we would
So,
have.
Well,
someone-
but think about how many
Agrees.
resort tax appeals we had.
Well, that's
That's very different
Different.
and also very justified. Sorry.
Yeah, they were absolutely, you know, they're late. Okay,
Yeah.
what's your excuse and why, you
Well,
know?
more so, I think that the reason it was justified was lack of notifications, but.
Yeah, yeah.
Moving on from that, just because we are limited on time, we do
Yeah.
want this to be game time ready for
Yes.
tonight, so I'd like to.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Get us, I think we have a sentence we like, so we can move on from that.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay,
I'm good with that.
cool.
Are you gonna strike the whole paragraph above, just line through
Yeah.
it?
Let's just do that.
By July 1st.
Okay, collection, a business registration certificate is issued for the fiscal year beginning July 1st and expiring June 30th. I don't know why that's collection. I think that's probably why I highlighted that, like, why is that collection?
Yeah, just can't
Yeah.
get rid of that.
Positive fees,
And I don't think I just hate extra words.
yeah.
That it just says July 1 expiring June 30th, that's period.
Oh, they're talking about collection of fees,
Yeah,
so that's why they have that in there?
what I already said.
A collection of fees means that you will get
For the physical year,
yeah,
beginning July 1st and
But then-
expiring June 30th.
but they have collection of fees, deposit of fees, like, here we collect the fees and this is what you get for it.
I'm just
Okay,
gonna
then
let's
say
say
that.
end.
Like.
I know, that's what I'm saying, that's what they're meaning to
Okay,
say,
so a
just
business
say it,
registration certificate
Yeah,
is issued July 1st and expiring June 30 at the end of the fiscal year. So should we say, I don't know why we need.
I think what it is, and will not be, and are not prorated.
I don't
Right.
think we-
Because if you come in December and you start your business, they're not gonna prorate it, and they're not gonna give you an annual
Okay, then we're gonna
certificate.
rewrite this.
so at the tail end
They're
of
only
it-
gonna give you
Well, I
a
like the
certificate.
first sentence, ending at the fiscal year beginning July 1st, expiring June 30th. You don't need to say at the end of the fiscal year, you already said that. So what you could just say, and will not be prorated. So after June 30th, and will not be prorated,
Or refunded, if the business,
or refunded.
yes.
Or, again, I think if we're gonna just say collection and say what we're referring to, we need to say that what we're talking about. We need to actually.
Yes, collection of fees. Collection of registration fees
I like-
gives you,
I like Sandy's comment that at the end of the fiscal year is redundant, but it also, if you stick it in another place or another way, it could explain why. So in alignment with the fiscal year, comma, business registration certificate is issued. So if you moved it to the beginning, now you're explaining why it goes from July to
okay.
June rather than,
And just continue typing. The fiscal year. Okay.
And then we also, yeah,
And so this now can stay as collection.
yes,
Business registration fees are collected for the fiscal year beginning July 1st and expiring June 30th. Is that what we're saying?
yes.
And then
Midterm, I would also say midterm or,
Right.
collections are not prorated,
Yep.
and cancellations are not refunded. Cancellations of registration are not refunded.
Is it a fee? I still think collection comes with you, I'm with you there.
Well, it's a registration fee that you're collecting.
So if this is like a mini sub-paragraph where they had just registration fees, sounds better than collection, business registration, because it's almost, is that what it is? It's like a little title for the paragraph?
That's
Yep.
exactly what it is, because that should be like, to coincide with C,
But
it
the whole
should say
thing is
collection,
business registration.
it should say collections of fees, and, because C says deposits of fees. I guess, if you want to be.
So we've got
Mhm.
the whole area is like business registration fees. A is fees, B is collection, and C is deposit of fees.
Fees,
We've got fees, collection, and deposit.
oh,
I
okay.
think you're right about collection is awkward.
I know, but,
Could you say due dates or,
Do we need to have, okay, we have fees here. I feel like we don't
under A.
necessarily need to have the header. How about that?
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Why
the-
call it out?
The city
Okay.
council shall, by resolution, set a fee schedule for business registration, appropriate inspections. I don't think that's true. We don't, the council doesn't set inspections.
Is that somebody looking for you or?
I don't think so,
I'll go
no,
take
I
care
just
of it.
like to wave at people.
We do need to, I think part of what this needs to be is that we do, say which inspections are required for which type of businesses. I'm gonna put in a restaurant, you need something that handles grease
I'm just
trap.
saying,
You
city
have something-
council doesn't do that. City
What-
staff does
Which
that.
one, where are you?
That's what I'm saying.
Got on A,
Yep.
under business registration fees.
Oh,
Because we
okay.
have the header of fees, and if we get rid of those headers, fees,
Shall by-
collection, deposit of fees.
Set the fee schedule for business registration, appropriate inspect, well, we do set,
Thank you for being worthy of our time.
Yeah.
We're at the
I would say appropriate inspections that the city is responsible for. How's that sound? Because we don't set the fire department's inspection
No, we
fees,
also,
and we
but the
don't set,
council also doesn't set the staff inspections either.
no, but the fees, if they charge a fee for it,
Oh,
we
okay.
do set it.
Okay, so I know, I see what
That's-
you're saying.
Yeah, we do set it.
Ah,
This
Fee
is set
schedule for business registrations,
appropriate,
okay, so, that's just, I
and a
don't
fee
like how
for-
English is.
For the appropriate inspection,
yeah. And then we also have, I guess, all fees are non-refundable, so we don't have to put that down below.
yeah, because you already got that in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, that just says the city council has the authority to set fees.
Okay.
That's all that says.
And then, yeah, if we just get rid of the header, it's totally unnecessary.
Yeah,
We're already talking about business registration fees.
Yep. Okay, yeah, just get rid of the headers, I'm fine with that.
ladies and gentlemen.
And we
Unless-
don't have to worry about that word collection.
I don't think there was really much
I
else,
think the
was
rest of
there?
it was pretty straightforward.
Do we need to have the city council shall by resolution classify the businesses into separate categories and fee levels when we already have above the city council shall by resolution set the fee schedule for business registration?
And business classifications, couldn't we say, and business classifications? So that the city council shall by resolution set the fee schedule for business registration and classifications.
Makes it sound like you guys are individually going business by business and classifying,
Yeah. Yeah, when they come in, we have like 3 different
but
classifications.
it sounds like the city council is doing it.
Yeah, I just feel like we could remove this entirely. Because that's part of our
You could
fee
say the
schedule
city
is
staff
those
does.
classifications, so.
Shall approve the classification list,
No.
or the shall approve, because we approved it,
Right, but I'm just saying that's a part of the fee schedule, so why do we need to include the classifications too?
Into business registration fees.
You guys should put it, so on that one, it shall by resolution, instead of classify, you could, should say approve the business or whatever, however you want to do it. And then at the end where it says separate categories and fee levels as set by city staff,
But they're
Yeah,
not,
they're
they're
set
set
by
by
us.
council.
they don't put them into categories for you, you guys do each business separately?
No, the categories are
We set the
retail-
categories
we set
and
the
then
categories,
define what
yeah.
those businesses
Short-term
are.
rentals are a category,
The council approves the category.
short-term rental, lodging, all of those
staff
are a
Decide
category.
where they go.
And then
Right.
there's also food service businesses.
But you just said the city staff is the one that takes those businesses and goes, oh, okay, Silver Peak belongs in this.
Right.
one.
They,
They put them in
They-
categories.
based on
Right.
what they sell, yes.
So on that one, it sounds like the city council is doing that.
We give them the guidelines for them
Right.
to follow,
I'm
is
just
what we
saying
do.
that sentence
Yeah.
makes it sound like that's exactly
Yeah.
what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
City council, shall-
Does it need to be there?
well, we
I guess
have,
It does.
it does, because
Yeah.
it gives us the authority to set those what those classifications are.
Right.
I mean, and we in admin and finance were the ones that came up with those classifications, and then council approved them, so.
Right.
I think this section could use, like, and I'm thinking this full section could use a bit of a rework.
Okay.
And
And
more
we could
so-
just let people know that tonight.
Yeah, and I think that
Just not quite
specifically, I think A can be broken down to be a little bit more clear for what the city council is doing and then how city staff applies it. So specifically, city council by resolution will set the fee schedule for the business registration. Tiers will be created for.
Classifications.
Classifications will be created for, city staff to
Guide-
designate
yeah,
registrations.
Create,
So really doing more of the breakdown of those steps
yeah,
versus.
city council
this is
creates the
messy.
guidelines of
Yep,
creates the tiers or the classifications of the businesses for city staff to follow.
yep, so, and, cause like, right how we have it right now is business registration fees, and we have fees, collection, deposit of fees, and I think those are actually good to address in these different tabs, but just cleaning this up a little bit. So if you guys don't mind, I would like to work on this
Okay.
without 5 voices coming into my brain at once, and then we
That's
can
fine.
relook
We're-
at
We're
it.
just, we're about out of time anyway.
Yep.
Fun.
Yes.
I know, and then,
We've got a lot
otherwise,
to cover tonight. It's not gonna be ready for vote at our next meeting anyway.
It
I'm,
sucks.
I know. Maybe it could be, but
so,
it's a lot
Especially
to,
when we get to the back of it.
yeah, 'cause there's still so much that we have to cover. We're only halfway through. This is a 16-page document.
Yep.
And we're only on what page?
Yep.
Page
but it'll, I mean,
7?
we're not gonna have an hour-long conversation about this tonight anyway, but
No.
it'll give people an idea of what we're working on, the rest of the council, what we're working on, and, we can tell them where we're at in it, how far down we are,
Yep.
and that we're still working on this through this, so, there you go. We are kind of out of time. But,
Yep.
yeah. So, yeah, if you want to.
I'll tinker.
Okay.
Just my-
Yeah, and we'll bring it up tonight, and maybe they'll have some ideas as well, the rest of the council too, and. But, I mean, I think we've come along, we've gotten a lot done.
Yeah.
It's a big project. So. But, we just have to be careful not to take away some of council's powers.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not worried about that. I'm more
So.
so, like, yeah, I'm just worried about my own time.
Well, just, if you don't get it, it's fine, just print it out, and we'll just let them know, this is where we're at, Chelsea, it's not a big deal.
More so, like, I'm not worried about that for tonight. It's just, yeah, I know the amount of time I need to spend on this. And I also had other things today that I was gonna try and do, but I know if I don't do it today, I'm not gonna do it.
And, well, and I mean, I'm
As long
okay
as
with
you give me
doing,
the copy to print before, from 4:30, that way I'll make sure everybody has a hard copy
Yeah.
tonight.
well, and what we're gonna do, I mean, it's like, we're about halfway done, Dave, so
Oh,
what
okay.
we'll do is, we'll give everybody a copy tonight, and
Or
we'll
we
take
can
them
give
through.
half of it.
Yeah, we'll take them
Okay.
through where we're at, and, say we're still, we just wanted to keep you guys updated on this big project we're doing, so you know where we're at.
Do we even need to have it available tonight? Because again, when we started work on this before, we started to do the partial updates, and that's when we got derailed.
Right,
I'd rather have this complete
okay,
before we actually bring it printed.
Okay, that's fine.
That's my personal feeling,
just
like,
give
again,
an-
I love
say that we
participation, and I
workshop
want
yet
people
again.
to be involved, and I want opinions, but at the same time, when it's still a mess, it can be very misleading for the folks that, when they first take a look at it, and be like, well, this is crap, and this is horseshit, and like, yeah, we know.
And that's how the planning documents
Mhm.
ended up costing 3 times as much and taking longer as they needed to, so,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a-
Yeah,
that's a
no, I'm
process.
fine with that. We can
Okay.
just give them an
And
update.
then tonight, you can just say, we made it through half of it, but
Yeah.
you'll have to wait until we get,
Yeah.
It's not ready
working
for
on it.
prime time yet,
It's
so.
not ready for prime time, you're welcome to participate in these meetings if you'd like to, like, we're more than happy to, again, I love feedback, I love people being involved, but only if they actually wanna be.
Yeah.
I'll send you the draft if you
Okay.
wanna look at it.
Totally,
Yeah.
100%.
So, let's just do this real quick, that since we have these, I'm sorry, we're like way over time. But, this resolution, is this the one that Tom wrote?
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, so so that is that's the which is, I think it's both, it's the resolution and also the petition.
Okay,
Cool.
and what it's gonna look like, okay. All right, do you want to did we have this on the agenda tonight?
We did not.
Okay. But we could still pass it out during the work session and just say, here's copies for
I
everyone.
think everybody has copies of it now, so, yeah,
Okay.
you could still, anybody who doesn't have a copy of it, we could get a
Yeah,
copy of it
and just
there.
say this will be up for discussion at our next meeting. Take a look at it and,
And then Public Works is working on Public Works, Public Health and Safety is working on the messaging,
okay, perfect,
and that was working kind of funny on the agenda, but we'll fix that.
perfect, okay. Yeah, I just, so that we can have a discussion next time on this, so.
Isn't it funny, he says that, the rural fire department district 7 levies approximately 21.81 mils. Yet, when I pulled the one for my daughter, it was 19.35 mils. So maybe it's different in different sections of the county?
I think that's where it would go to that, and that's why he says he's gonna need additional funding from resort tax to make up the difference.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one whereas in there where he talks about it may be necessary for the city. And I think if I play that out, it's probably gonna be as, before they go to the public to ask for additional money, they may come to the city and say, hey, can you contribute with resort tax to this? Maybe the city will, and maybe the city won't.
Because the city will be part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
And
if
so
they
they,
need
if they
additional
raise money,
funding, they have to charge everybody additional funding.
that's
Right.
what the question boils down to, or is the argument, well, it costs more for but you don't parse out every, I think,
Area.
I think equity and I think consistency is one of the goals of doing this, so.
Well, and to Tom's point, he, you know, says that it costs, you need different equipment for cities.
Well, but I need
But-
different equipment for Belfry versus West Fork. I need different, as I'm
I
saying,
need
you
different
don't,
equipment for south of town,
Well, yeah, you
Yeah.
have brush trucks, brush fire trucks, and then you have your big.
everywhere.
Yeah, and
so.
if we get our buildings up too much higher, you know, then they may need a ladder truck. So, at what point do they need a ladder truck in the town versus not, you know?
Yeah, I know what it is in Utah, but,
Yeah.
and the answer is your zoning just doesn't permit that until you change that or have a way to do it.
Mm.
When they built the Marriott in Provo, they made them buy a ladder truck as part of their conditional use.
There you go. Right,
So these 3-story buildings are gonna have to contribute to a ladder truck.
That's 3, it's not 7.
yeah, 4, 5.
Well, I was on the fire that inspired our first ladder truck that just became a parade vehicle until it wore out, because we never had another fire that needed a ladder truck.
Which building was that burned down?
Bank.
The bank?
Well, the other thing, remember, the purpose of the purpose of a fire department is not to ensure that your house doesn't burn down. The purpose of a fire department is to make sure that the town doesn't burn down.
Exactly.
And so, yeah.
And you can get
I thought it was
insurance.
pancake breakfast.
Okay,
All right.
all right. Anything else?
You don't leave yet.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do, we've got signatures, and I'm gonna have you and Patty go through them today, because she's not been through that process before yet, so.
So I don't need to do
For
signatures?
warrants, are you okay doing that? Patty has signed off on it.
I was
She
going to
already,
do.
she already did them?
No, I'm sending them with you.
Oh,
Oh,
Or
Danae
delivering
usually
them.
doesn't let them leave the
Yeah.
building.
We
I was
generally
going
don't.
to do some, and who else?
Patty,
I need 2 sets of signatures,
Right.
but
yeah.
Danae's not
Meeting
here
adjourned,
today.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause we tried to do that,